was Sheelanagig. Welcome.
Hello.
Happy Metal Buffet.
Hello, I'm Doug Robertson, and tonight then I'm kind of taking a back step because it's more Marjolein's episode. I guess what you could describe me as, I'm Doug Robertson by the way, as interviewing people who went to the not the Heavy Metal Buffet, to the Folk Festival 2015 to find out from them what the Folk Festival is all about.
Jamie, how quickly did Dirk say it was his episode and then take over the episodes? That's a record.
Hi, I'm Jamie, back from the dead.
I'm Marjolein Robertson.
Hello.
And this week's episode is a heavy folk buffet. It has been the Folk Festival this past 5 days.
It has.
Jamie and I were at it.
Jamie Hatch. Not Jamie Dalziel, the other one who's taken over.
And not at it like that.
Well, it was a wild weekend.
It was really good. So, let's dive in. Who were your favourite band?
I'd say my favourite band were the band we just heard, which was Sheelanagig.
Oh, brilliant.
I saw them twice. The first time was nice. Seeing them thrice was nicer.
Where did you first see them? Because you went out Thursday night, didn't you?
I was out every night, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go nuts. Thursday night, no. Friday night, no. Saturday night, it was Saturday night.
Oh, I thought you were just saying no because you didn't like it anymore.
Oh no, I saw Sheelanagig on Saturday night for the first time.
Okay. Oh wait, at Mareel?
At Mareel.
That was a brilliant gig.
Yeah, I was at the front doing my skanking. You know, like doing like ska bands, skanking.
Yeah. Is that when you put your knees up?
Yeah.
Rapidly, one after the other, in quick succession.
Cockney dancing, as we call it in Bristol.
And yeah, because you probably related to the band.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about everyone who lives in Bristol. You're related one way or another.
In Shetland, they say, you know what they say about everyone in Shetland?
You just fuck one another.
They're related 3 times in one way or all the others. So, to kick things off though, where were you on Thursday night?
I went to Bigton on Thursday.
Yeah.
To kick things off, it was Antonia Sidgwick. Familiar with the Buffet, I think?
Yeah.
Tony Sidgwick.
Tony. Well,
yeah.
she was on the plane. She was introduced as Antonia.
Tony to her mates.
Where is this, Italy?
Yes, that's where Bigton is. She was good. She was brilliant, actually. I've seen her a few times before, and this was certainly the best I've seen of her. Played some new stuff, some old stuff. Her flashy guitar skills.
She's got a nice guitar as well.
Oh, nice, very nice.
There's one thing you can say about Antonia Sidgwick. She's got a flash guitar.
Nice guitar.
There's also Frank Yammer, who was probably my favourite guy of the weekend.
He's amazing. My
highlight of the weekend was having a jam with Frank Yammer at Michael Williamson's.
Oh, was that on the Friday night?
5 in the morning. I can't remember. Every night was
it blurred us into one big night.
Big time.
Yeah.
So then he was singing away.
The Aboriginal babe.
Yeah. The Aboriginal, yes.
It was nuts. I seen him on Sunday at the Singer concert, and it was just, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say now, there are 3 kinds of ways I listen to music. 1.
With my ears.
Speakers, headphones, and braille.
1. I listen to it. No, seriously. 1, I listen to it and listen to all the things that are happening.
The
2,
intricacies. I
dance to it and just feel the music. Or 3,
fuck the band members.
Or 3, I go off in a world of thought.
What do you think about?
Everything, and I see pictures and things, and Frank Yama put me into that world of thought.
What did you think?
Well, a lot of desert outback, like at the start of Crocodile Dundee when you're
this could be a name of a segment. What did Frank make you think? That's think in Coolinger.
Oh, I don't know. It's just like thinking about like the sea a lot, and just like I was flying around, looking down on things.
Okay, listen to the description of him about him from the book. It says, when he sings, you listen and travel with him, and his unique story and music.
That's pretty much word for word what Marjolein just said. She never actually saw him.
And I haven't not read that book. I've just looked at the pictures of musicians.
Yeah, I was there and I heard all the bands ask me about any band.
Derek, what did you think of Jane and Norman?
Oh, let me tell you what I thought about.
Actually, let's save it for their segment.
They're a duo from Cardiff.
What about Joe from Where's that place he's from again?
Look at the advert for the wheel bar, by the way.
I know, it's amazing.
Keep your party going with us at the wheel bar, and it's a picture of the dance floor with one person playing a fiddle on the dance floor.
She looks
Wait,
like
does that never happen when you go there?
Every time.
So
That's how you pull in Shetland.
So yeah, on Thursday night I was playing with the Shetland tattoo fiddle, Hjaltabanhoga. It was fine, apart from one tune when I took the wrong music on stage, and that was a bit of a shock. But it went fine. It was really fun.
Did anyone notice, other than you?
Well, I was at the back row, and Sean Haldeman looked at me, and I smiled at him, and then he looked confused.
Did you do the old classic where you pretend to play what everybody else is playing, but just don't touch the strings with your bow?
Well, I have really bad strings right now from the amount of times I've played in the rain, so I can actually pretty much, if I'm not pushing my bow, I can just play away and make no sound all the time.
You should have done what
It's amazing
you
for
should have done what
sessions.
that kid done on that music, on that video. There's a video.
The one who's waiting for a meme.
Yeah. There's a video of a kid who's playing at like a school band, like an orchestra band in America, and he's like playing the cymbals like that. But he plays the cymbals once and he drops them and he doesn't know what to do. Then, as everyone's still playing, he's like looking around and suddenly he just stops and salutes.
Oh, I was really hoping you were going to say he keeps hitting the cymbal off his hand. Going,
No, he just salutes the Great American flag.
When I used to have to play in school concerts, the only instrument I had was the recorder, because I didn't specialise in anything. And not being able to play the recorder, I used to just puff up my cheeks and pretend to finger the recorder. And I thought I was getting away with it. But Mum always hit me up on it at the end. Like, you're clearly not playing anything, you're just smiling with your puffed up cheeks.
I liked it when Dirk played harmonica. Dirk went through a few years of playing harmonica.
Yeah, the teacher described me as like an angry bumblebee trapped in the speaker.
So, we're going to have our first review of the folk festival of the night from one of the visiting acts. Sadly, they were not recorded with the dictaphone, but Jamie, you have got the same tongue as them. Mother tongue.
Yeah. The reason why I'm here tonight, I think we should get out of the way, is Marjolein sent me a message about an hour ago saying, can you come narrate this review by the Bristol band in your Bristol accent? The accent I've got is my accent. But I'll try to put on a bit more of a Bristolian one.
I can't remember.
But the likelihood is I'll sound exactly the same.
Would you say things like Gert Lush?
Never.
Isn't that Devon?
I think
You
it's-
are down on
No,
the
I think
farm.
it's where was I? Where did I go?
You went down to Cornwall.
Cornwall. I think that's Cornwall.
See, when you edit this later,
Yeah.
can you put music from the Ambrosia advert? Like really soft.
Yes,
flute-y.
but I'm not going to edit the suggestion out.
Okay. I'd heard really good things about SSF before, but that didn't really prepare me for just how amazing the weekend was. The quality of the music was fantastic, and it was absolutely everywhere, all the time. It felt so good to be submerged in music like that. But the people really make it. Everyone I met was so friendly and lovely. John from Sheelanagig and Hatchbar.
What hall were you at on Friday?
None.
Okay.
We went to the afternoon gig at the Islesborough and then just drank for the rest
The
of the night.
Islesborough.
Yeah. Friday night.
Was that at the afternoon gig with everyone there, or is that on the Thursday?
That was Thursday. Friday was just a few. There was Frank Yammer again. Was there? No, he might not have been actually. Yes. Can't remember. Lindsay Lou and the Flatbellys were playing.
Amazing.
They were fantastic.
Do you want to play one of the tracks?
We have to play our tracks. We've been talking for so long, I forgot about how long we've been talking about it. Well, to be honest, I can't remember if I got permission to play one of our tracks, but I think I shook her hand.
They will not mind in the slightest.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got Flatbellys.
But the most delicious beard you've ever seen.
Big time. My favourite moment of Friday was I was sitting in the hall. I was ready to go home. I was crashing out big time. And I was had a few more sips left in my rum. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going home after this. And then Marjolein turned up. And Don't really know what happened, but then I ended up going to bed at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, we went to the Clickman because I saw raffle tickets selling, and I remember Fluke were playing. They were absolutely amazing. Did you ever see them, the Irish band with like the piper and the woman who just like literally does yoga while she's playing?
I saw them 3 times.
And then it was Hansel's last gig, which is a Shetland band from the high school, who are all fantastic musicians, fiddlers and accordion. Arthur Nicholson played, he was really good. There's Molly O'Brien and Rich Moore, she were a Grammy winner. And then Jamie Smith's Mabon. Oh, they're so good.
They were good. So was Molly O'Brien. Good banter.
Oh yeah, the inter husband-wife banter.
Interesting. They just talk about like domestic issues when they were on stage.
Pretty much. But well, what you said about Lindsay Lou. Should we play Lindsay Lou's interview in one of her songs now?
Gang for it.
Gang for yun.
Shout out
in the Lou with Lindsay too.
Shout out to Mark and Joshua.
This is Marjolein of the Heavy Metal Buffet, and I'm joined with Lindsay Lou of Lindsay Lou and the Flatbellys. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, my voice broke. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah, it has.
And how are you enjoying your weekend here?
It's phenomenal. It's so brilliant, and the people here are so beautiful and full of music.
And just for the Buffet listeners, can you describe your music and your sound yourself? And where they can find you as well.
Well, our music is described as Americana, which is American music at its roots. So you've got jazz and blues and bluegrass, and it all combines together. And you can find us at lindsayloumusic.com, or if you use Google like the rest of the world, you just Google Lindsay Lou and the Flatbellys.
So we share the buffet, we say Google Heavy Metal Buffet.
Yeah.
And do you have any funny stories or anecdotes over the weekends so far?
Anecdotes over the weekend. Well, our dobro player, when I'm talking about funny stories, I usually look to Mark, our dobro player, and he was looking for a joint this weekend, and he found himself at a friend's place and found himself sleeping on the floor, and he came home at like 5 in the morning, which seems pretty reasonable, you know. I've been getting home today I slept until 5 in the evening. We came from California and we thought this is going to be a big time change, but really nothing makes any sense anymore. When we're here, it's like time means nothing.
I know, and the sun will be up when you're going to bed.
Yeah.
And your boys, one of them has a super impressive beard. These Flatbellys have some good beards. Is this a conscious effort for the band? Or?
No, it's a non-conscious effort. It's like, what can we do that takes the least effort? We shave the least. That's the best.
And also, this is your first time in Britain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you playing anywhere else in Britain?
No.
Just
yes.
Shetland.
We are. We are. I'm sorry. I answered to it. Yeah, we are playing a couple gigs in Scotland.
Amazing.
But then we're coming back. We're leaving again. We're going to California after this. We're coming back in the summer, and we'll be here in the late July, early August for a month.
Where?
Everywhere in the UK.
Oh, I'm going to be in Edinburgh in August.
We're going to be in Edinburgh.
Yeah! Sorry, personal note to myself. Buffet listeners, you don't need to listen. Find out Lindsay Lou and the Flatbellys are in August.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, can you, did you have any expectations for when you're coming here or what it might be like?
Well, I expected, really beautiful seaside, hillside scapes, and that's exactly what I found. We were driving to a gig that was, half hour away, and when we were driving, I was thinking to myself, this is exactly what I thought it would be. Just beautiful landscapes that meet the seaside with rocks and green rolling hills. It's beautiful.
And tell me that, because that's quite a nice inspiring thing you just said. How do you like inspires you to write music? Is it whatever you see, or? So I just thinking the Shetland inspired a song, being all like Shetland biased and whatnot. But like when you come to like working on music, what inspires you to write?
There are certain things that take me, just like when you listen to a band or when you listen to music and it takes you out of what your whole world that you're in, and it makes you feel like you're not normally feeling. That's what inspires me to write. And so there are certain things that when we've been here that all of a sudden I think in my brain, I'm like, okay, this is it. Now I feel different. And I take those things with me, you know. And writing is a funny thing. It's like it doesn't happen right when you want it necessarily. But when it comes, you take it. And it comes from these moments that are inspired by people and land and in their purity and in exactly what you want it to be. And you didn't even know you wanted it. You didn't even know that that's exactly what you wanted. But when it comes, you realize that that's it.
That's lovely. That's so lovely. And I know totally what you mean, because for me, listening to music most of the time is an escapism. It's an act of escapism. You listen to a song and you get lost in it.
Yeah.
And the idea that inspires you to write, because it is an escapism, it's nice. It's like the same plane of thoughts.
Yeah, it's like
exploring music.
It's like the place where you commune.
Yeah. That's what I think when you go to a gig and you see everyone tapping their foot and nodding their head and just listening to the same song. They're all escaping together.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lovely. I have one final question, which is kind of standard question. It's when I say these three words to you, heavy metal buffet, what image springs to your mind?
When I was growing up, I used to go to Marquette, which is a town in northern Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, which is a very remote place, much like here. And I would go to heavy metal concerts or hardcore concerts. You know hardcore?
Yes.
Is that a term? So, and everybody, we'd all be standing like this together, right, shoulder to shoulder. Everybody was standing like in a one being or together with our arms up in the air, singing together. And when you say heavy metal buffet, that's what I think of. I think of standing together, and you lose sense of yourself, and you're all just together, and you're experiencing music at one time.
That's lovely. One last question before they move us out. Do you have any favourite heavy metal bands? Because you're saying you went to heavy metal gigs. What heavy music do you like?
Heavy metal is sort of, when I think of heavy metal, the only thing I can think of with heavy metal is like Pantera. But with hardcore, I really liked Coheed and Cambria.
Sweet, yes.
Yeah, Coheed and Cambria was great. And oh man, there's so many that I listened to. But I was more into punk rock when I was growing up. So Anti-Flag and AFI and a lot of those bands that had Operation Ivy is my favorite band of all time. Bands that had a purpose and a message and a reason. Those are my favorite bands.
Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of the folk festival.
I will.
Friday night was the first time I stage dived at the club.
I was there.
That was the Epic Male Band. Their full name being Esko Järvelää's Epic Male Band.
Yeah.
Did they play more than once that weekend?
Yeah, well, every band plays a concert every night, and then they all play in the club once during the week, and then they all play pretty much at the final fling as well.
Right.
So it's nuts. It's like, because you get 4 or 5 concerts around Shetland every night, and then they're all the concerts finish about 11. They're all bussed back to Islesborough, and from about 12 till 2, there's a concert downstairs in the room next to the cafe, and a concert upstairs in room 16 at the same time, and then that goes on. When that finishes, there's just people having sessions everywhere. So it's so good.
Sessions, for the listeners, by the way, is when people get together in an intimate setting and play music together.
Oh yeah.
And it's all, what's the word?
Is that your review of a folk
Is
festival?
it from nowhere? What's the word?
Improvised?
Improvised, yeah. That's what a session is in Shetland. And if you ever come up to Shetland and ask for a session, that's what you'll get. But
What
you
else
can't
would
get
a
one.
session be?
Taking drugs.
Seriously, is that what
a
this
session.
means?
I thought that's what...
Sunday session?
That's how I got myself into a sticky situation a few times.
I thought, yeah, Sunday session is like session 1259.
What does that mean?
Right now, Andy Bright and Captain Steve are now forcing themselves to drink. 1259.
What does that mean?
1259.
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever gotten from any of those guys that either say it or have the tattoo is they go, it's drummer counting. And it just means like, I think they might meant to say drunk counting. It's like 1, 2, 5, 9.
Oh, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I always wondered.
Yeah, I know. I even Googled it and there was nothing. Nothing online for 1259.
I just thought it was like the time Andy Bright finished work every day.
Yeah, because he says 1259 in the pub, and it's like 1259 session.
Like 12:59.
And then he'll have a photo of a pint of cider, and sometimes a photo of his face in a pint of cider.
He has a lot to drink.
Yeah, I know.
Carry on with. Okay, let me ask you guys
we're
about
here for you.
the Saturday. What happened on the Saturday?
I woke up.
What happened in terms of the folk festival?
I went to Buddha. Wait, did you go to an afternoon thing?
No.
That's just chronologically.
Unless afternoon thing means my bed.
Okay.
When I was in bed in the
Jamie
afternoon.
went to bed.
I shot the afternoon thing.
I went to Buddha to see Jane and Norman because I was filming the gig. It was Jane, Norman, Hayden and Martha playing, and they were playing all these Robert Burns tunes, and they're absolutely beautiful. We're going to play one for you. We'll maybe play after the Hayden
Robert
interview.
Burns, is that the guy who wrote the poem about
When
the guy?
Chapman Billies leave the street and Druthie neighbours meet. It's market days are wearing lit and fatty. Remember I did that on the buffet once too?
Yeah. Call of Cthulhu. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
etched
it's-
in my mind. I can even see exactly what I was looking at and everything then.
A computer screen
It was
with an
weird.
orange bar glowing.
No, I downloaded it and would listen to it while I was driving. And not long after that, it was your episode, you also played Little Hands of Silver Bones. That's the first time I'd heard Bones. Actually, when I say a little bit after that, that episode was like 3 hours long. Because that fucking segment was about 20 minutes.
Wait, we played Bones that early on.
Yeah.
We played Little Hands of Silver that early on in the buffet. We
Big
drank
time.
so much when we recorded episodes those days.
For example, the episode where it's the buffet barber. First of all, it starts off as like a barber shop.
Give me
And
your
then
haircut.
Slenderman chases you to the barber shop.
That was such a fun episode.
We did really good episodes when you weren't here.
Yeah, and,
Define good.
well, we drank a lot of champagne.
Yeah, I noticed.
We start every episode with a bottle
Like
of opening.
yeah, like 2 bottles of champagne.
We'd spend all our money on drink and,
And
scratch
scratch
cards.
That was the weirdest thing.
I use that night as like the basis of buying scratch cards now because I came down, met you. Yeah, I buy one and one like 15 quid, bought another one.
Did
like
you not have to
tenner.
come down because I was in the supermarket and had no money?
Yeah, you left your money, so I had to come bring you money.
To buy a scratch card.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, I was lucky that once. I buy scratch
And I was
cards
like-
every time I go to
I
co-op.
was like, let
Never
me
win.
scratch it. I might have won enough to pay for the food, but they wouldn't let me. But I had. When
I think
scratched
between us, we certainly had enough money.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You
pay
can
for
just go
your
to
food.
Taylor's now and buy scratch cards.
Oh, can you?
I have a
Yeah,
scratch
yeah.
card with £10 on it that I've still not returned. It's gonna be my 5 more scratch cards. So, I recorded Jenny Norman, but I left the gig pretty promptly because I wanted to get to the Spangin' Spree and Mariel with who was the first band on that?
Tupelo.
Were they the
The
first?
world famous Tupelo.
Tupelo was on the first. Okay, and then there was, then the Epic Male Band took off their shirts and wowed everybody, and then was Sheelanagig, and
What
then
was their bodies like? Because I've heard so much. Every time somebody talks about them, they talk about how they took the shirts off. Were they like exceptionally muscular?
no,
No.
they just showed us some flesh.
Bit of
That's all I
nipples, belly
wanted.
button,
Show me your
lack
flesh.
of hair. I don't think there's much hair in their bodies.
No,
They have
all
beard.
it was on his head. Well, he had long blonde hair. He could have been. I was thinking he could have been like the evil fourth member of Hanson.
The twatty member.
But he's so funny. He would frown all the time, but he was lovely. I loved those boys.
Sounds like Jerry Cantrell.
And then there's
That's
Reathers.
all I've got in my head right now.
So,
I don't know.
I got a new phone this week.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me my news.
So that was Saturday. What happened after the Epic Male Band? Or do you want to talk any more about the Epic Male Band? Maybe play one of their tracks.
Not yet, because we've got an interview with actual
Devin
Esko
Townsend.
Järvelä. That is true. He is not wrong. Or the kid from ETA.
I once met a guy, Darren Brown.
It is, isn't it?
I once met a guy dressed up as
Big
some comic book character in Aberdeen, and I actually thought he was dressed up as Devin Townsend. I didn't realise it was a comic book character.
I bet Aberdonian. He probably wasn't even dressed up as a comic book character. It's just when you're a classic
himself.
Aberdonian goth.
I also met two guys one dressed as Colossus and the other one dressed as Beast, and a guy dressed as the kangaroo from Tank Girl. It was awesome.
I love him. What's his name? Ruba. No.
Have you done a buffet about the Simplify weekend yet?
Yes.
What? You don't listen, do you? Booga. That's his name.
Yeah.
Booga. I wonder if he's friends with Frank Yama.
Booger and Yama. Yama Booger.
So
Are we still recording?
Yeah. So there's the Revelers. The Revelers are good. They're just like your standard Reveler set. Although when I was headbanging to Miracle in the Andes, I was doing a helicopter spin.
Do you know where Beagle put our blazers? Or our jackets?
You're not going to get your jacket.
No, I still got it back.
It's
You're
backstage
giving your
in
jackets to the
Maria.
band.
Do you work here?
Still on the books, but I haven't worked there for a while.
I'm gonna have to go in.
Ask Ian.
Where would I find it?
It's in back. It'll be sitting exactly where Biggie left it backstage. I went and picked mine up before I left.
Well, I
They
left
were
before
on gear at the back.
I left before the Revelers to try and get into the club.
You left before they even started.
Yeah.
You missed a girl grabbing my hair. Yeah, the club on Saturday was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could have. I had an amazing time at the club on Saturday, but we had to leave at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
to go down to Bigton.
Yeah, I was actually amazed
To
you
watch
guys
the
managed
box.
to pull that off.
Same. I didn't
Yeah.
think you're actually going to leave and do it.
We did.
The photo of you guys is hilarious because of Lyle's face.
Also, is Tom,
We zoomed in a lot.
is Tom punching a dog?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like fake punching a dog. I gotta say.
Wait, off the record?
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
like,
You hate that bitch.
I have to say on Saturday that I felt a bit bad because you know like in the club it's last orders at 1:45.
Yeah.
And I went to the bar and I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm gonna get. I was thinking 2 red cans cider, 2 red cans cider, 2 red cans cider, and Mark appeared in a Hawaiian shirt and was like, hey Marjolein, do you want a drink? And I was like, 2 red cans and a cider. And he bought me 2 red cans and a cider.
Wow.
Good old Mark.
Mark bought back the Hawaiian shirt for the folk festival. I think that's going to be a yearly thing now. I think he started a trend.
He went out and bought it that day, especially for the folk festival.
Him and Ashley Thompson went drunk shopping Saturday afternoon apparently.
He bought a lot of books about boats. He came here to the basement with 6 books about ships. You're listening to the Heavy Metal Buffet. This week's special, Heavy Folk Buffet.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Are you off?
Yeah.
Well, what bands do
To
you
be
want
honest,
to hear
Marjolein,
before you
you did
go?
spend like time with Jamie
Jamie.
Hatch, like just running around looking for things.
It was great to be back.
It was good having you back, Jamie.
Thanks,
It
man.
really was. It was very much like the old days.
Come see me and Kevin Tulloch Sunday.
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 At Mariel.
Mariel. So, who do you want to hear before you go, and the rest will just be Dirk and I?
This week I'd like to hear...
This is your options. These are your
I've
options.
been presented.
If you can read my writing. But you can't pick... Well, you can pick anyone you want.
Oh, let me pick Habedekuk.
Habedekuk.
Yeah, brilliant.
Habedekuk.
Good guys. Double bassist looks like the biggest cross between Minnie and Monkey I've ever seen in my life.
Holy shit.
Like,
Yeah,
it's insane.
Amazing bass. His bass folded up, like the neck would come off and all folded up inside itself.
And also we look like Minnie and Monkey.
Even
more fascinating.
If you are listening, these are nicknames for our friends.
Who happen to be brothers.
Oh, that is true.
Yes, and not look like their mother.
And not in a black way. Literal brothers.
So he is a cope. That is their surname.
Yeah.
Well, I got.
Here's Habedekuk. Goodbye, friends.
Bye, Jamie.
Speaking of fanny flap, I was watching this program called First Dates, and on it the guy is sitting down with the woman, and he says something outrageous to her, and he like totally takes her off guard, and she's like, "You what?" And he goes, "Don't worry, just pull your fanny flaps." And then the date went completely downhill from there.
Hello, I'm Peter from Habedekuk.
And you play?
I play the accordion.
And?
I'm Thijs from Habedekuk, play piano.
So, I'll start with Peter. How have you enjoyed this weekend so far?
It's been fucking great. It's been so great. It's great. Good festival, this. Lots of good music and good beer.
And Thijs, what were you expecting when you came here?
Well, I've been here a few years ago and that was a great audience and just great times and it's happened again.
When you mean great beer, do you mean like McEwen's or because you're drinking Tennent's?
Yeah.
McEwen's is better.
Well, the problem is I'm drinking Tennent's at the moment because the bar is closed and that's all there is.
Because your Finnish friend is drinking Tennent's. What do you think of the Finns? Aren't they the cutest boys ever?
I wouldn't really know. It's not quite my taste, but...
Thijs?
The Finns are great.
Yeah,
Finns are the
really
best.
good.
Party starters, always.
Do you guys like heavy metal, by the way?
Heavy metal? Yeah, some of it.
I grew up with Ozzy Osbourne, if that counts with heavy metal.
Oh, that's
Yes,
good stuff.
yes. Very
Good
good.
old Ozzy. Wow, I heard a lot of AC/DC records. Does that count?
Yes. To be honest, the whole point of calling the buffet is because we like everything. It's like a smorgasbord, if you will, of all kinds of music. So, can you describe your band slightly for me, just so the listeners have an idea of who Habedekuk are?
What do you want to know?
Describe. Well, I don't know how you describe yourself. How would you describe yourselves?
I don't know.
Everything.
The badasses of Danish folk music.
Is that case out from behind
We
you?
will be at your way in a minute, sir. That's good. And one final question, because we'll wrap this up, because the listeners won't realise this, but the lady was flicking the light room on and off. Is that obtrusive?
What? Sorry, I didn't get that.
The light going on and off, find that obtrusive.
Like in here?
Distracting, that lady, when she turned the light on and off.
Is that distracting? I think yeah, a bit actually.
I don't know, I don't think.
Distracting?
Distracting?
Maybe annoying?
Yeah, annoying.
I say, you need to. It's a bit unfamiliar to us Danes that bar shut so early.
Why? What time do bar shuts in Denmark?
I think the word is abrasive.
Thank you,
That's a
babe.
good word.
What time do bar shut in Denmark?
I don't know.
Don't really
4, 5, 6 maybe.
I want to come into Denmark.
You'd be welcome.
Come see Habedekuk in Denmark.
Habedekuk.
You know in Salmon Ground. Can I ask you one final question? Thijs, I'll start with you. When I say the 3 words to you, heavy metal buffet, what image springs to your mind?
heavy metal buffet.
Yeah. Image.
Well, I have no idea actually. I don't have a good answer to that one.
And yourself?
Don't know. I think I'm sticking with AC/DC on that one.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I think I'm sticking with ICDC in that one. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Habedekuk.
Habedekuk.
Habedekuk. You're thinking of that horror film, which I kept calling them as well.
Babaduk.
Babadook.
Babaduk.
I've still not seen it. But Habedekuk were amazing. What did you think?
I really liked it. It's really good. Okay. So far, we've heard quite a few bands this episode.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we on Sunday day, by the way? We are.
We are on Sunday.
I have got to tell the listeners we've had a bit of a break in the last segment. Since we played Habedekuk, about 2 hours has gone by in real time in the buffet basement. So that gives you some context as to how we are now.
I don't know if real time is the correct term for what's going on here. By the way, listeners, we've been editing the episode and also at the same time, on the fly, creating a jingle which I will play later on, possibly this show, possibly as a standalone track.
No pressure.
yeah, lots of pressure.
How would you? What previous tracks would you compare it to?
Pen Jam.
What was that? The creepy one?
Yes.
Hi,
No, not for the creepy one, where it's just you. And you walked in one day, I was sitting in the living room and I was like, oh, stop, Marjolein, stop. Okay, right. Open and close that door really slowly. And we're like, and then I was just like dropping things on the floor.
And then he made, hi, boys and lads. Hi, boys and lads.
And it's got that famous bit of music. So it's like,
One from Nicolas Cage losing his shit.
and then you go, it's time. No, and now it's story time. Anyway, never mind that. Never mind that. That makes no sense. Right. So back
2
to the
hours. So we're on Sunday in the folk festival, and Sunday I went to the singer concert in the Lerwick Hotel, where I got to see Frank Yama, who is amazing. Aboriginal singer. We spoke about him earlier on, though, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, we have.
And where has my program gone? This keeps happening to me. Happening. I also saw Hayden, Morrison, and Eli West, who are amazing. Like, so good. They sang this one song. It was amazing. It's an a cappella song. And they had to write a song for Dios de los Muertos. They had to write basically...
Day of the Dead?
Yeah, they had to write like a kind of more sinister song. And they wrote this song.
Well, who like, told them to write that song?
The concert they're playing at?
This weekend?
No. I suppose Day of the Dead was this weekend, wasn't it? The 5th of May. Or is that Cinco de Mayo? Or Cinco de Mayo? I don't speak French. You know what would be better is if I played the interview now with Cahalan where we explained the story.
Cahalan, Morrison, and Eli West. We play kind of bluegrass and old-time American music, but it's mostly original stuff, so it's not traditional in that regard, but it's kind of a traditional sound. So.
I think you described perfectly was at the Clickman Foy. Then Maddie was saying that it's like you say, it's your own music. It's like written now, but it has this great timeless feel to it, and she's had it nailed on the head. Because when I was listening to you guys, like if you hadn't said you'd compose it, it could have been old tunes. I just loved it. And the tune that really blew me away, sorry I keep talking, is the a cappella tune we played at the singer concert. Mm-hmm. Sorry, can you just talk about that one personally for me, because I love it so much.
That's kind of a newer tune. It kind of has a funny story actually. We were playing. We got asked to play a show for Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, which is a Mexican holiday.
Yeah, I know that. Sorry, but at first I was thinking George Romero, and I was like, what, for the film? And then we get another one?
No.
Okay.
So there was a special show, and it was like you're supposed to play a song about death or something creepy or, some haunting murder thing or something. So I ended up writing that song for that show. And I was slightly depressed at how good it was, or not how good it was, how accurate it was. It's because it's very creepy and so lonesome. It's kind of as dark as it gets, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
So that's I just wrote it with that goal in mind, and unfortunately it worked. I have that in my brain. So.
I found it when I was listening to it using the first line, and I was just your harmonies. I was smiling so much because I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then I listened to the words, and I was like, I should probably stop smiling. I think horrible.
Yeah. Well, it's fun making creepy things pretty.
It's such a chilling story. It's a part of the beautiful part of story time through song, I suppose.
Thanks. Yeah.
And how have you found Shetland?
Oh, it's so fun. It's wonderful. Yeah, this is the best festival experience I've had in quite a while, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. And the land, I mean, the island itself is beautiful, or all of them, as far as I'm concerned, are beautiful, and the weather is kind of wild, and the people are really sweet and wild, which is a good combination, So it's been really, really wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One final question, because I'll let you get away, because there's a can session upstairs and they want you there. When I say these 3 words to you, heavy metal buffet, what image springs to your mind?
Oh man, black macaroni and cheese. That's what initially popped into my head. Just like a really dark oil, like used motor oil and macaroni as a casserole.
The first time we've had that answer. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's just what like literally even before you asked me that, when you told me what it was called, that's what I thought about. It was oil and macaroni.
Macaroni.
So there you go.
Thank you very much, Gail. And thanks for coming to Shetland and playing for us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
I would really like to be able to hear that track, Delle de Morte.
Well, it's not called Dios de los Muertos. It's not called that
Cinco
because
de Mayo.
there's a few tracks they said, oh, this track doesn't have a name yet, but you can guess that probably the lyric we sing most in the song.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something about a man has lost everything when, and then they just sing all these horrible situations he's found himself in. But it was just such a gripping song. And also, I mean, their instrument playing is amazing, because that's a cappella, it's really haunting.
A cappella means every part of the music is done with voices. And yet they have instruments.
Well, no, but they weren't playing. They weren't playing that. They were just holding their instruments.
Okay, well, I think that I'd like to hear that song because it just sounds grim and dark, and I just think that sounds really interesting. But obviously, we just looked for it online. We looked at Eli. We looked at his name.com. Cahalan and Eli.com, and we looked at just Cahalan.com, but we couldn't find the track. So it's not been recorded, even by like. Because a lot of these bands, the interesting thing to me about a lot of these bands is if you search for them on Google or YouTube, there's lots of good video of them, good video and audio of them, recorded at similar festivals to the folk festival all over the world. So you can get a really good idea of what they're like and what they sound like live, which I really like.
There's I was still thinking of haunting songs, and there's one band. Oh, why did I lose the page? Clap. You might want to edit it now. I think they are called Farah. So there's one band called Farah. These lasses from Orkney.
Is it the Silver Brumby? They call him Farah.
His name was Farah. Yeah, that show was amazing. But Farah, it was 5 girls, an Orkney-based band, but they did this one song about sailors going out to sea. And they all played fiddle, but they all just started singing in harmony together, and it was just like spine-tinglingly good. So good.
They should get together with Hayden, because they write that song about the fisherman going out to sea, and
Which
then
one?
It's just called The Ballad. You'll find.
Oh, I know what you mean now.
And they should
all
get
I can
together
think of
and do
is
like an
Hit the
epic
Gas and Devil's Roller Coaster. Sorry, I'm playing with a pair of pliers, and I just got my thumb stuck when I shut the pliers. Set the pliers down, and we'll move on.
Okay, right. Next, what are we going to talk about next? Are we going to talk about our expats who have returned?
Yes, good idea. Ooh, we've just changed which ear we're talking, have we?
I don't know. That's an omnidirectional mic, so I don't know if I can pick up which way we're going from.
I got a great interview of Hayden of the Jane and Norman band.
Yeah.
So we had Jane and Norman coming back and playing a great set in the Borough Hall, which I kind of spoke about quickly earlier on.
Okay, which interview are we going to play first?
Well, we're going to play the Norman interview, then we're going to play a track from Jane and Norman.
So we're not going to play the Hayden interview.
Oh wait, there's no Hayden. What?
You mentioned the Hayden interview.
Let's not edit this. Let's power through. We can do this. Here's the Hayden interview followed by a Jane and Norman track.
Marjolein and the Heavy Metal Buffet, now joined by Hayden Hook on his last night in the Folk Festival. Hayden, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks.
Tell me all your news for the buffet.
Okay, I don't have much news, but it's good news.
So how's the Folk Festival been for you?
It's been great. I love it. And I've been drunk for the whole thing.
Who's your favourite band that you saw? Even if you don't remember their name, just describe them.
The Swedes.
The ones that gave you the snooze?
Yes.
What do you have in your mouth right now?
Snooze.
Thank you, Hayden.
You're welcome.
Lassie,
So that was the Jane and Norman band with Martha and Hayden.
Yeah.
All Shetlanders, all come back to play some music for
Hayden
us.
on double bass, Martha on fiddle, Jane singing, and Norman on keys.
They were really good. I really enjoyed listening. We listened to our whole set just now that you recorded, and I really liked it. Nice little set. Well, nice set. Nice set. Good work.
It's
good
brilliant.
job.
I absolutely love Jane singing. Like every time, she's such a good singer. And considering that the entire 4-piece only practiced once, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But actually, I say it's amazing, but then we know their standard.
Yeah.
So you know what? You did fine.
Adequate performance. So what we're going to next is also actually before we move on from them, good to see old faces coming back for things like the folk festival. I mean, the folk festival pulls in such a massive crowd and a massive bunch of bands, and it's also really nice to see it pulling back people who would normally have been there but can't be because they're not here, but then they come back so they can.
Yeah, they're all away studying and moved away, and also they brought them back and they brought something completely new this year to the front.
These guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they, I think this is Jane's first time singing the folk festival.
Really? Okay,
yeah. Because, I mean, the other guys have all played in various different bands in the folk festival, but I believe this is Jane's first time.
Last time I saw her sing was the Funk Federation of Disco Pimp gig, when lots of people took it in turns to sing with Tropic Funk. That was fucking awesome.
She did Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
So she hit every note and then took it further. It was amazing.
Every note and took them further.
Yeah.
she
sang it higher than Stevie Wonder. And then Lyle and I did White Lines. I'm waiting for the day that we get to do White Lines again.
It might happen again pretty soon.
Did you see us do White Lines?
Yeah, I was right there in the front.
Brilliant.
It was an absolutely amazing gig. Anyway, moving on. The next thing we were going to talk about is actually something that I've heard being talked about a lot this weekend from everybody walking around and talking that I listen to. It's the epic...
them walking and talking. And...
the Epic Male Band.
It's actually Esko Järvelä, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Are they Swedes?
No, they are Finnish.
Okay, because some people might make that mistake.
Hayden.
Epic Male Band. Tell me about the Epic Male Band, and then tell me what you collected from them in terms of sound.
What's not to tell you? Well, we kind of spoke about it before of Jamie, but I just can't remember everything that we said on.
So what did you record?
An interview?
Yeah,
is that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's what I'm leading.
I recorded an interview with Esko, who's been here before, but this is all spoilers for the interview that he talks about. But I really... Oh, let's just go straight into this. But after this, we're going to have our final notes on the folk festival.
Okay.
But Epic Male Band, yeah, like you say, everyone was talking about them. They were the absolute tats of the town in a good way. Like you mentioned, like being the rich, creamy pudding on top of the festival. They're also in the best crowds.
Rich, grainy pudding.
Creamy.
All right.
Lovely and rich and creamy and rich.
Rich and creamy.
I gotta say though, one thing that's really heartening about any festival is you get bands who come and perform and they play on stage, but they also play in sessions. But they also are in the crowd supporting other acts.
Okay, yeah.
Epic Male Band are right at the front. Just, who are they? It was for quite a few bands that I saw them at the front.
The Swedes?
Funny you should say that. It were the Swedes. Wait, were they Swedes? No, they're Danish. Habedekuk. They were right in the front for Habedekuk, and they were going crazy, and all put arms around everyone and kicking their legs, and then everyone held hands because they started holding everyone's hands, and did like not quite a conga, but like holding hands and skipping around the room, and then they
like a ka kitty kitty ka.
Yeah, and then they just didn't skip just around room 16 where the stage was. They went out the room all the way around the fire, around the stairs, and then back in the room again. But there's such a great bunch of guys and a great crowd and a great band.
Who? The Epic Male Band?
Epic Male Band. Everyone at the festival.
Okay, cue interview.
This is Marjolein of the Heavy Metal Buffet, and I'm joined by, could you please introduce yourself and your band?
My name is Esko Järvelä, and I'm leading a band called Esko Järvelä Epic Male Band.
And you have been an absolute highlight for everyone's folk festival this year, completely. How do you feel it's been?
It's been fantastic, actually. I didn't really know what to expect. I've been here twice before with 2 other bands, but they've been more like traditional folk music style bands. This is more like progressive folk rock band, and I didn't really know what to expect, but it worked out really well. I've been really happy about it.
Can you describe your band quickly?
Well, it's kind of hard to describe it. It's of course, it's fiddle is the main instrument, and besides that, it's kind of a basic rock lineup. There's guitar, electric guitar, so 2 guitars, and drums and bass. But the music we do is kind of sort of based on traditional, rhythmical things, rhythmical issues in Finnish and Scandinavian folk music, but it's kind of progressive.
I found that because I got your album, I listened to the intro track for there's this intro track which is really kind of out there, and then it hits into the rest of the album, there's jigs and I was like, wow. I was quite surprised at how out there it was, and then it went into this kind of folk structure that is more understood, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Is Finnish folk music quite similar to the rest of Scandinavia, or do you have quite a different style?
Finnish folk music is, it's really unique because Finland is kind of in the middle of the border between east and west goes right through Finland. Yeah. So there's kind of a lot of stuff going on in Finland. It's a strange place.
I like you said that because I think it's great, but I do think Finland is Finland. It's so unique to itself. But you have this kind of merge between like Norway and Sweden and so similarities. And in Finland you've got its complete own kind of cultural identity.
Yeah, it's got, also there's a lot of Russian influences, of course, because we're right next to that country, so it's pretty special, yeah.
And what was the blue hairspray yesterday? Were you involved in the blue hairspray?
Sorry?
The blue hairspray. Spring
oh, yeah. That was, our drummer's, crazy idea. We went to play a gig at, where was it? One of the village halls. Vidlin, I suppose.
Yeah.
There was, very small place, and there was only the village hall shop next to it. The only buildings right next to each other, and then we went to the shop, and there was blue hairspray. For some reason he found a can of blue hairspray over there, and decided to buy it.
Everyone is being tagged as blue by you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
So, could you summarize your weekend and how it's been?
It's been fantastic. It's an awesome festival. It's something different. This is like unlike any other festival. There's no other festival like Shetland Folk Festival. So it's kind of socially, it's people get so close to each other. It's fantastic.
And what do you think of Muriel? Was this your first time playing in Muriel then?
Yeah, I haven't seen that place before, and I like it. I like it. It's a great venue, great hall, great acoustics. Really nice to play there.
Okay, well, thanks so much because you've been amazing this weekend. Personally, everyone gets excited when they hear the Epic Man's coming.
Thanks.
And it's not just because of the name. When you hear the name, like, what? Epic Man? Epic Males? That's a good technique. How did you come up with that name?
It's kind of a word game between Epic Fail and Epic Male Band. At some point there was a huge thing going on social media, but everything was, all the people were talking about epic fails. And that's when we started the band at the same time, so...
I get it.
Yeah.
I got it. My last question, when I say the 3 words to you, heavy metal buffet, what image springs to your mind?
Whoa. I don't know. I guess it's Finland.
Thank you.
Thanks.
a really nice end to that song. Just kind of fast and snappy.
Fine, clear end.
Yeah, and also good interview with the guy. It was good to hear that he thinks of Finland.
I know, Finland, I would love to go there. Everyone I met from Finland is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And cool, but really interesting.
Also, I like a Finnish band. I can't remember who it is, but
Is it
it's
the
also
Moomins?
Oh, I know what it was. I know. I was
It's
just
the
stalling when he described why they're called the Epic Male Band, and I have to say it did sound familiar. Like I've heard that name before, but Epic Fail. Like I get it now.
Yeah.
And are the Moomins Finnish?
I believe so.
I know they're Scandinavian. Oh, I thought they're Swedish. Anyway, moving
Maybe they're
on.
Norwegian. I don't know. Somebody just kept shouting Moomins. Not them.
Somebody?
But when I was talking to people about the bands this weekend, they're like, "Nah, it's gone." But there was a lot of Moomins.
Okay, right. What is the next point of the agenda?
I think the last point is because we've got one more interview, one more track. Is just to sum up the folk festival.
Okay, it's the 35th folk festival, which is quite interesting because when you actually put a number on it, like 35, because it's always been around as long as I can remember. I've never known Shetland not to have a folk festival because it predates me just by 5 years, though. But
whoa!
I know.
Are you actually 30?
Not yet, no.
You're gonna be.
Yeah,
Okay,
but like when you think
something.
about it, though, it's 35 years running. That's an enormous amount of time that people have put into keeping this thing going. Like we've obviously been doing the heavy metal buffet for nigh on 3 years.
Like an 11th of that.
Yeah, and it's like quite interesting to consider. Like this has been growing in popularity globally for 35 years, and it makes you appreciate that it isn't just a good festival and it isn't just a good showcase for modern traditional music, but it's actually a festival that holds a generational long reputation. It's built up through huge amounts of hard work and long-lasting relationships across the planet. It's really interesting. It really makes you appreciate how important Shetland has made itself in terms of culture as well.
Yeah.
And that's my sum up of the folk festival. I wasn't there, by the way.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. The organisation that goes behind it is just unbelievable. I mean, it's not just, it's 5 days of concerts, 5 days of music. But even then, each night there's several concerts, and they always spread them all over Shetland. You've got your West Side concert, your South End, your Northern Isles concert. Like, they're spread around, and they always bring everyone back to the club so you can have this kind of just relaxed tune at the end. It's just, it's so well thought out. And like
you know what's incredible is the techies, like Stevie and Amanda, for example. The fact that they're doing gigs all the time, all weekend, for that block of time, it's really quite an undertaking for those guys. They haven't got any time or wiggle room or anything because they've got to stick to that amazingly tight program to make everything run so seamlessly and give you that smooth product.
It is smooth, though. When you just think about the Foy as well, that every visiting band plays a slot. And there's three venues, and they all travel around each venue and play. And they were saying at the end of the Click 'em In, they ended exactly within a minute of when they planned it.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible.
Within a minute.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love the folk festival. I think also because it's folk, but they make sure they always get such a good range of different music from all around the world, and change it up every year. I don't know. I'm just on a major low right now, because everyone's left.
And also, you're hungover after 5 days of drinking.
Not anymore. Not tonight. And I had Kansas City.
I think I could imagine that if you were organising the folk festival and you were one of the people getting in contact with all the bands and built up that relationship and conversation with them through emails and phone calls and whatnot, and got to the point where you finally meet them after a year of organising, you get to have a great time with them. That moment when you say goodbye to them must be really quite a big deal, you know, because not only are you saying goodbye to a new friend, but it's somebody that you've had an experience with, that you've both worked on for a very long time from two different ends to the same goal. And that's quite an incredible thing. Yeah, what a brilliant committee. What an amazing committee. that the folk festival has.
Also, the fact that they get, like, musicians are housed in Shetland actually in homes, like they got volunteers to house musicians in spare rooms in their homes. I think it's really nice for musicians because they're not just playing a gig and being put up somewhere, they're actually immediately becoming part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
They've immediately got their own room in Shetland and their own family and base.
Yeah.
I think that must help with the very relaxed feel of the festival as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it so much. And it was really, I don't know, it's like on the first night I went to the club, we went in there. Oh, I gotta say this before I forget it. Did I even say this anecdote?
I don't think so.
I've said it to you plenty of times out with Buffet recordings, but before I forget it anymore, I just gotta say, I don't know if I even said this on the Buffet, but the Friday night, when Epic Male Band were playing, and they just went all of a sudden like really quiet, and played this kind of riff, and then this guy next to me was like, "You got a stage dive now." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" No. And then he just got up and stage dived, and I was like, "Oh, it is a stage dive bit." So I got up and stage dived, and it was all very well. And on the Sunday, I was like, "Yeah, I stage dived." And then a photo came up of me on Facebook of me stage diving, and I was like, "Yeah, I remember that." And I looked at my clothes, I was like, "That's not Friday night. Those are my clothes from Saturday." So I also stage dived to Jamie Smith's Mabon.
Is that an anecdote? An anecdote. Is that an anecdote?
I just never want to forget that, so I've said it there.
Is that an anecdote?
Anecdote. Yeah, I think it's an anecdote. Is that what classifies as an anecdote?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I say yes, but that is the folk festival. Like people dancing on chairs, people having sessions, people just dancing in the foyer with no shoes on. Like that's the kind of like really relaxed. It's about music. It's about music. Like people just go on. I've never seen.
I'm just seeing a bunch of barefoot people on a table right now.
I've never seen Adam Priest smile so much in my life as when he was dancing to the Epic Male Band in the club at the nighttime. And what I was thinking of was after reading your interview in Shetland Life, which you guys say go to the shops now and buy Shetland Life. It's got Dirk on the cover. It's got a great interview of him.
Dirk Hero Man.
Dirk Hero Man. It's tough at the top.
Yeah.
Who else isn't it? Davy Gardner.
And Neil Riddle.
Neil Riddle, yeah. Great interview by Chris Cope. But I was just reading your answers, and you talked about one of the best parts of it, and you really spoke about all the hard work and all the effort and all the music, and it's all really like cemented in that final applause, the gig.
Yeah.
And I noticed that on the final fling, final band was on stage, and it was Habedekuk. And they played the song that we'd heard before, so everyone was just singing along with the melody of it. And people were dancing going crazy, and there's more people on stage, and they just played it. They invited musicians from all different bands on stage. There's Shetland musicians on stage, musicians from everywhere.
So just join in?
Yeah, on the Final Fling stage. Because the Final Fling is about bands mixing with one another, just playing anything. So the stage was full of musicians. Everyone was singing along.
Like any song you could think of.
Yeah, but
like
it was
Ain't
just
No
so
Sunshine
good.
When She's Gone.
And later. But and it culminated in this massive round of applause. And even though I've like volunteered, but I had nothing to do with putting it on, you just still feel this overwhelming just sense of like awe, because it's like this is it. This is why we're here, for the music, for celebrating one another and the tunes. And it was such a good feeling. Even because I always thought I got that from being an organizer, but it's not. If you can just appreciate that moment because you're in it.
Yeah.
And that for me was like, again, I think the highlight for any gig for me is the clapping at the end. Although we ruined it because they're like, one more tune, and they played another tune, and it was very good, but we were just all done by that point. So we still clapped, but it was just not as impressive as the one before.
I think everybody always claps and wants one more tune, even if they don't really want one more tune.
Sometimes there shouldn't be another tune.
Yeah, I know.
No, but like the other tune was amazing, but it just like by
wasn't
that point,
needed.
Yeah,
it was like a sequel
all the added musicians had walked off the stage.
Yeah.
So it didn't have that punch. Folk Festival 2015. I always say this at the end of the Folk Festival, but it was amazing, and how are they going to top that next year? Let's see.
What do we have left?
Oh yeah, that's right. We're not done yet. We're not done because
the last band of the night is a band that you feel would have been appropriate at this point because
they're one of the first bands that totally blew me away this year.
Funny
enough, their album's called Windblown. But it's Jamie Smith's Mabon. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Mabon. Mabon.
Mabon. So many new words this weekend, like Habedekuk.
I don't know if that's a word. Oh yeah, going back to can you?
Oh, you wanted to explain about Habedekuk?
Yeah, Sheelanagig. What are they called?
Another new word we had to learn this weekend: Sheelanagig.
Okay, so Sheelanagig are a band from where?
They are from Bristol.
And Sheelanagigs are figurative carvings of naked women displaying an exaggerated vulva.
That makes sense because I seen that image on their website. And I was like, well, that's a bit too far.
But now you know that it's just archaeology.
Wow, I should have known that before from my studies.
And we are now talking about Windblown.
Jamie Smith's Mabon. And it's really interesting. Actually, you know what? I don't need to say anything because he explains it all in this interview. So we got an interview with him and a final track from him. And such concludes this Heavy Folk Buffet.
And thank you for listening. And I had a great time learning. I learned
Don't
from
worry,
the buffet.
We'll play some Slayer next week. Well, maybe in 3 weeks' time.
We'll play some heavy metal next time. Bye.
I suppose the jingle's like heavy metal. If you want more metal, go back and start listening to the episode again, where the jingle is very metal.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm James Smith from the band Mabon. We're from Wales, South Wales, and we play what we like to call original inter-Celtic music, so music that spans the whole gamut of different Celtic styles and traditions.
And the Isle of Man.
Yeah, that's part of the Celtic countries, yeah. Well, actually, the band's based and started off in Wales, but we have, over the years, we've started to end up with this Isle of Man thing going on as well, because, well, I married a Manx girl. The drummer Yolo Whelan, he married a Manx girl as well over the years, and then we ended up with a Manxman in the band, Adam Rhodes, and at Shetland we've had our depth fiddle player Thomas Callister, who's also from the Isle of Man, playing with us as well. So actually, yeah, you're right to call me up on that. We're sort of part Welsh, part Manx now.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise because I've seen you here and heard all the stories. I was like predominantly Manx, but I was originally Welsh.
Yeah, well, no, I'd say the band's still sort of rooted in Wales. As I say, the music, well, is mostly my own composition, and I take influence from, much further afield as well, Ireland, Scotland, as I said, all the Celtic countries. We play music that, and Galicia and Brittany as well. So, but yeah, the band started in Wales, and most of the members of the regular lineup are Welsh or living in Wales as well.
So, okay, you can tell me I'm being an idiot here, but can you explain more about Welsh folk music? Because a lot of that rooted in here. And how would you describe it?
Well, the Welsh traditional music scene is a bit different to. You have your dance music, your jigs, and some reels and slip jigs, and a lot of the tunes that people do dance into, Welsh traditional dance into, similar to most of the most Celtic traditions. But then there's harp. The harp is very important in Wales as well. So you have a lot of harp music and singing with the harp as well, and traditional forms such as cerdd dant. And then you have sort of a more stuff that's more of a kind of classical sort of leaning as well. So choral singing is a big deal in Wales as well. So there's some crossover with the other Celtic countries, but also then with the importance of the Welsh language, there's a lot of emphasis placed on vocal pieces and singing with Welsh songs as well. So that's more popular in Wales than the tune playing, which is what we like to do.
That's interesting, yeah, because actually when I think about Welsh music, I always think of vocal music. You always think because they've got such
male voice
just to be stereotypical. They've got such great voices and they can sing, which is not something you get so much in Shetland. So here there's a greater emphasis, way more so on the fiddle and tunes.
Oh, the fiddle's a big deal up here, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's because we can't sing. So how are you finding it up here?
Oh, it's been fantastic, yeah. We were very excited to get the opportunity to come up. The only one of us had ever been up to Shetland before.
Which one?
Tom, our fiddle player, who's he's
fiddle.
Yeah, exactly. So it was inevitable that he'd end up here at some point, wasn't it? So we've had a great time. I mean, what an awesome lineup of acts. It's been a treat just to be here, just to enjoy enjoy it as much as a music lover as a performer. Do you know what I mean? So, but we've also had a great time with the gigs. The audiences have been really, really generous and really got behind us. And yeah, couldn't hope for any more. It totally lived up to the expectation. You know, I was a little bit concerned before coming because I had a few warnings about the amount of alcohol that might be you know, forced down your throat. But no, it's not been. You know, we've managed to. Well, it's Monday night and we're still alive. Let's just say that. So,
yeah. And did you have any kind of preconceived notions as to what it would be like, apart from the alcohol warnings?
Well, only from I've been to I've been to a lot of festivals, and they're all got similarities, and they've all got their own flavour as well. So we're just looking forward to seeing what unique flavour this festival would have.
Oh, if you had to describe its unique flavour, how would you?
Oh, that's putting me on the spot.
Sorry, that really is. That's a really hard question.
Yeah, it is.
Write an essay.
Well, I'd say a lot of fun. Work hard, play hard. That's what I would say. How I'd describe it. We've done a lot of gigs since we've been here. We've also had a lot of fun and met a lot of people, and had a lot of drinks as well.
When I say the words to you, heavy metal buffet, what image springs to your mind?
I honestly don't know. Buffet, food. I'm hungry. That's what I'm thinking.
So finally, can I ask you also to request a song from your latest album for us to play? Sorry, I've lost my voice.
Well, I think hopefully you guys listening will enjoy a track from our album Windblown called The Gordano Ranter, which was it's called The Gordano Ranter because there's a services, because you know musicians they end up on services stations a lot, late night drives and everything, and there's one called Gordano.
Okay, I was confused going to Shetland, nowhere's open after 9.
Yes, okay.
That's like a luxury.
Well, for us, travelling up and down the breadth of England and Wales and Scotland, we end up on the motorways a lot late at night, and there's this one called Gordano services on the M5 near Bristol, and we had a scary encounter there with a strange man one stormy night. So on the next day I wrote this tune. It's called The Gordano Ranter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.